Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. Welcome to Geeks Streams, Watches, stuff, I guess. I guess you'd call it Geeks Watch, but it's also Geek Streams because this is streaming. I'd like to talk about Vox Machina, Season 1. And if you're thinking I'm only doing this because Season 2 just came out, no. I've been wanting to do this for a while, but I've only recently got back into doing stuff. This is just a coincidence. Vox Machina is the people of Critical Role who do they live stream? They stream their D&D games. And the people who are playing the D&D, they're all voice actors, or most of them are. So they do a really good job of like acting out, role-playing their characters. I've watched some of them. Never kind of got into it. It just didn't, they're really good. It just didn't do it for me. My daughter and son-in-law love it. They like, whenever a new episode comes out, they'll like sit in front of their computer screen and watch it together. But they eventually got a budget to make a film of their adventures. That's essentially what Vox Machina is. It is a bunch of D&D nerds who got a budget to animate their D&D campaign. And it's not bad. For me, at least, it took off kind of slow. At least the story, at least. I wasn't interested in the first few episodes, I really wasn't that interested. Kind of had to make myself watch a little bit. So it picked up a little bit. I eventually did become interested in the story. I really can't stand the little gnome bard character, Scanlan. I really hate his guts. He's the reason I hated it. He's the reason I couldn't get into it. I, as a character, do not like him at all. Period. He is the bard trope personified. And in a bad way. He is just not fun for me to watch at all. Nothing about the actor. I mean, not to diss the voice actor. I just don't like him, and he's not fun to watch. I'm kind of sick of the bard trope, the horny bard trope. I've always hated it. In spite of the fact that I poked fun at it a few times, I've always hated the horny bard trope. It's just stupid. And Scanlan is the horny bard trope. Perfection, if you want to call it that. I also found the animation a bit choppy. Being a huge fan of animation and Japanese anime and stuff like that, I can recognize that there are constraints in animation. I know that there's a limit to frames per second they can afford to put on the screen. But I think, the images are well drawn. And I think that's part of the reason why it looks choppy. If it was more cartoony, it wouldn't be as noticeable. Like Avatar. Avatar The Last Airbender is 12 frames a second. But it's designed in such a way that you don't notice it being choppy as much. But because these images are more realistic, I think I noticed the choppiness more. The 12 frames a second was definitely noticeable. And even for a lot of Japanese anime, they're working on the same 12 frames a second, and it's noticeably choppy. But they design the scenes and action around that choppiness. I don't think they did that as well here. At least not in the earlier episodes. It wasn't as noticeable later when there was more action. But I just think they need to step up their art direction a bit to kind of smooth the edges out to make it less apparent that it's choppy. Hate to be a critic, but animation is my jam. Or one of my jams. I have lots of jam, but I'm a very jammy person. But yeah, that's for me, that's a mark off. The fact that they need to work on their animation a bit, I think. But overall, I think the whole season, from start to finish, was okay. Was a good first season. It wasn't great. The story starts off with like one big bad dude, but then they solve that mystery really quickly and move on to something else, which is the actual big bad dude. But it's not set up in the first few episodes at all. It's almost like the first couple episodes are like the prologue that has nothing to do with the rest of the story, and then the next several episodes are the actual story. So, okay, there's a prologue, but it has nothing to do except to introduce the characters. But there's a giant big bad that shows up that they figure out who it is very quickly and deal with it. So, yeah, the story structure is a bit off. Good first effort, I guess. But as far as it goes, I'm going to have to give it like a B. Solid B, but not a B+, not an A. It's just a solid B. Obviously, there are going to be a lot of people who disagree with me, who love this stuff. Please feel free to let me know in the comments if you want to. But this is all just an opinion. My opinion is it needs some work. It's good. My opinion is that it's good, but it needs some work. If you like D&D, if you like animation, if you like goofy nerd D&D nerd humor, please watch this. You'll probably get a kick out of it. But, it's not, I would not consider it a must-see. It's just good. Watch it if it's the kind of thing you think you'd like. Thanks for watching as always. As always, if you like this video, what is wrong with you? And until next time, good hunting.